G'day guys, welcome back. It's Julie. I'm going to do another resin pour for you, and my new mold has arrived. Not the one that I've designed, just this one that I've bought from someone in, I think it came from Victoria, I'm not sure. You can see the difference in quality. This was the one that I was using. It's already got some scratches and little holes and dents in the bottom. This one, it weighs 500 grams. So it cost me $60 plus postage. So I'm going to use that today. Who knew there was more than one type of resin? Not me. Because you know how I've been using the Barnes epoxy glass? Well, apparently it's for coating. So when I was coating my placemats and coasters, it was fine. I'm just using some double-sided tape here to make sure I've got no fluff and hair and stuff. So yeah, it was, it's for coating, top coating coasters and things. So when I did these little guys, I got so many little bubbles in them, and I could not get rid of the bubbles. It was a really thick resin. So then I started researching it and realized that what I needed for these was a casting resin. Who knew? And the casting resins have a lot lower viscosity, which means they're much thinner, which means the bubbles disperse really easily. So I've ordered some. It hasn't arrived yet. I only ordered it last night, but I did find this in my stores. And it's a much thinner product than the one I was using before. So platinum, it's a 2-to-1. It seems to me, oh, there's some fluff. Get off. It seems to me that the the casting resins are more of a 2-to-1, and the top coats are a 1-to-1. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I've found so far. So I'm going to do a pour with that and just see how it goes. I've got my little measuring cups here. I'm going to do 300 mils for this size, and I'd rather have a little bit left over and not have enough, because I'm going to mix up different colors. Now there's a lady that I've been watching on YouTube. Her name's Petra. Hey Petra. Oh gee, I don't think I can pronounce your surname though. Jongbloed. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce it, but yeah, I've been watching her and I love her resin coaster. So I'm going to be sort of basing this on what she's done. I don't have my white opaque pigment paste yet. It hasn't come in. I've ordered it. So I'm just going to use this white alcohol ink for my white resin. And I'm going to put some crushed glass in it as well. So I'm just going to mix up my resin. I'm going to divide it into glass, navy, white, Baja ink. I'm going to try this. I don't know if you can actually use acrylic paint, but I'm going to try that. So I'm going to mix up my colors and stir, and I'll be right back. Rightio, I stirred that for 4 minutes. It's kind of got a bit of a yellow tinge to it. This one's kind of a bit yellow, but it does say on there dries clear. Quality ultra clear resin system for floors, bench tops, jewelry, casting, boat building, etc. Mix the ratio 2-to-1. Working time is 45 minutes. So there we go. And I can already see that it's a much thinner mixture, and it's hardly got any bubbles in comparison to the last one. So looking good so far. Now I thought maybe you guys would like to watch me mix the colors, because I mean it's the only way you learn. As I said, I've been learning a lot from Petra, so I'm just going to move that out of the way, and let's do the little glass first. So I'm just putting them in here. I've got this little tiny spoon, and I've got 4 sections, so I'm going to do 4 scoops. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'll be a scoop in each little corner. Okay, that's just my little, they look like mirror. That's it there, little pieces of glass or mirror. So that's that one. And I got a little stick, and I'm just going to pour enough resin in there just to kind of make it a paste. That's why I'm using my little cup, because I don't want to go overboard. So I just want to make it a paste. Sounds very gritty and sandy. So that way when I put that in the middle, hopefully it won't spread too much. Because when I did my very first one, my very first resin with crystals or glitter or something, I had so much resin in there that it just kind of spread. So let's do that. So that's all mixed in. That's the first one. Now the next one, I want navy, but I've got this primary elements mystic blue. So I'm going to do a bit of that, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the pinata black, just to darken it, because I want a navy. Ideally I would like an opaque colour around the outside. And again, I'm not sure how much I'm going to need, so I'm just going to put a little bit in there. Oops, I haven't used this before. Peel that off. Oh, look at it, it's all sparkly. And I'm just going to do half like that, just a half a, I don't know if that's the right amount or not, but let's do that. And then let's do one. I'll start with one because I'm not sure how dark it's going to be. And I'm using the paper cups so that I can pinch them. So it's still quite blue. Let's put another 2 in. 1, 2. I'm assuming because it's a black, it's an opaque. I don't know. It doesn't say. But yeah, I'm trying to get some opaque and some transparent in this pour. Let's do another 2. That'll take it up to 5. Because I think from what I've heard, the same as when you're doing acrylic pouring, your opaques and your transparents react really nicely together and give you pretty effects. Still not quite dark enough for what I want. Another couple. Almost black, very dark navy is what I'm after. Gee, this is going to take a while, isn't it? I think this is the only one that I'm sort of mixing my own colour. Look at that. Another 2. So I think that's probably about 10 drops. So I must remember that. 10 drops of black. Hope that's not too much, because you can't add too much, can you? I think you've got to use 10% of colour to your 90% of resin. I don't think you can go over. So that'll be fine. That'll be my dark. So that's that one. And then this one I want white. As I said, my pigment paste hasn't arrived yet. I've ordered it, but it hasn't arrived. So I'm just going to use the pinata. And let's just do 10 drops, hey? Because I did 10 with the black. I've got to give this a really good shake, apparently. Someone said there's a little ball in the bottom, but I can't see and I can't hear the little ball in the bottom, so I don't know. Okay, here we go. This is the pinata. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know whether that's enough to make my resin opaque. If you think about milk, skim milk, maybe 2%, you can it looks, you can sort of see through it, but then your full cream milk, you can't see through it. So that's still a skim. I'm going to go with some more. I'm just going to give it another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 20 drops. Let's see if that can make it go more opaque. So opaque is when you can't see through it. Transparent is when you can see through it. All right, that's looking good. Let's leave it at that. That's my white. And then now I need a lot of this one, the blue, and I want this transparent. So I'm going to do double the amount of that. I'm going to keep some clear just in case I run out of blue or run out of white, I can just quickly make up some more. And I have made up a little bit more resin than I think I need. So this is the Baja, or Baja. I think it's Baja. I think these are Spanish, hey? Piñata. Baja. I don't know. Now, I want to keep this very transparent. So let's start off with, let's see what 3 looks like. It's a lot of resin though, so I'm not sure. So how you can see the stick through there? Look at that. You can see the stick through it. So that is transparent. I think that'll be enough, hey? I don't think I want to do too much more than that. Let's leave it at that. As my first pour, we shall see. I'm hoping the navy blue will kind of bleed into this a little bit and make some pretty effects. Now the next one, I want an opaque, and I'm going to try this. I just need a little bit. About the same amount as the white, really. So it's just my Jo Sonia's Aqua. I'm pretty sure it's an opaque. And I'll just give it a little squeeze. I hope that wasn't too much. It might have been too much. I think it was more than the 10%. No, I better add some more resin. Because it won't set, will it, if it's got too much colour in it? Probably needed like 2 blobs. I think I've got too much of that. There we go. Probably wanted more of a blue, but anyway, I've got turquoise. And then the other one, the last one, is just going to have the rest of my clear in it. So, I guess if you know all about resin, you don't need to know how to mix things. You could just fast forward that. But, you know, I'm very much a newbie to resin, and I appreciate when people, you know, go to woe when they show me how to do stuff on YouTube. So I thought I'd do the same. Rightio. Let's do this. Now I'm just going to zoom you in a little bit so you can actually see what I'm doing. And again, I have no idea if this is going to work. If I'm going to get the, you know, pretty effects that other people get. I've got it on my little spinner, but I don't think I need to use it as a spinner because I can just, oh, maybe I can turn it around as I'm going. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is the edge. So I'm going to pinch this so I can get in here. Actually, that's a good idea. Look, I can turn it as I'm going. Woohoo, look at me go. I'm just going to do a thin amount. Hopefully that's, oh, that took a lot. Hope I got enough to do the rest. Probably should do a thinner little strip. This is a really pretty design on this geode. Okay, stop there. Hopefully I got enough. But that's why I've left quite a lot of clear in case I do need to make up a little bit more of one of the colours. Trying to get it into all the little crevices. Looks like I'm going to have just enough. Look at that. Woohoo, is she any good? Now, I've got a tiny bit left. Let's fuse it all up. Sorry if this video is going to go a bit long. I you know, started making videos so I could look back on them and see what I did right or see what I did wrong with my acrylic pouring. Now I've got a piece of paper towel here that I'm just going to wipe any resin off my gloves as I go along. Keep clean. Oh, there's a lot there. I don't think. Oh, I forgot to. I was doing these as I was pretending they were going to be circles. That's all right. I'll put the clear in the middle. I was going to put it in the corners, but no, I'm right. Yep, no, I'm right. It goes in the middle. Okay. A little bit too much there, I think. Okay, won't be too precious about it. Now the next thing that goes in is this transparent, the Baha or Baya. I don't know, is it Baha? Pour that in, and I want that to basically go out to the edges, but let's just pour some in. When I was talking to the people at Barnes Resin, they told me that you should pour your resin from up high and have a thin stream coming down. You'll have less bubbles that way. So let's just put a little bit more in there. I want to keep some of it for my next layer. Now I'm going to use my little heat gun. I'm not going to use a torch, I'm just going to use this heat gun thing just to pop some bubbles. Apparently it's not the heat that pops the bubbles, it's the carbon dioxide, so I don't know about that. Whether people are telling me little fibbies or whether that's right, I don't know. I'll come in and fill that up a little bit. See, I can get quite close to the edge of my mould here without burning it if I'm using this, whereas if I'm using an open flame on my butane torch, I can't get this close at all. And I don't want to burn this. I don't want to destroy my mould because it cost me $60. Oh, look, the colours are all blending into each other already. I need a little bit more here. Fill this in. And a little bit more there. Fill that in. Oh, look, the colours are blending. And also they say if you leave it sit for a while, the bubbles all come into the centre. Actually, that was the other thing. I'm picking up on what people have said. I should have done this earlier. They said if you go around with your stick on the edges, it'll help pop the bubbles on the edges, but it's probably a little bit too late now because it kind of picks up the bubbles along the edge with your stick. I think it's more important to do these long flat edges. You just do that, and I think it breaks up the bubbles, brings them to the surface. So I'll torch a few times. I'm going to keep going because I want to get the colours in. Now the next one I want to do is the opaque. Let's see if this works. Pour a little puddle in the middle. So I'm doing a puddle pour like I do when I do my acrylic pouring. Puddle pours. Wipe my hands. So that's the heavy one, that's the opaque. It looks as if it has sunk, so yay, looks like that's worked. And now the white on top of that, the opaque white. Just in the middle of that one. I'm not sure if it's working as an opaque, we shall see. I have got white Joe Sonias, so I guess I could always use that if I needed to. And then we'll go with some more of the Baja Blue, the transparent. Look at that white, it's sinking. So we'll push that colour out, put it into the white and push it out to the edges. I'm going to use up all this alcohol ink here, the Baja Blue. Looks like I made just enough, you guys. I have still got heaps of the transparent, opaque in the blue there, the turquoise, I should say. Let's torch again because I can see lots of bubbles sitting on top. I'm going to use my little torch just to see. I'll be careful though. Little blow torch. I just think it pops bubbles so much better. Now with silicone, I mean, there's silicone cupcake molds and cake molds and things like that that can go in the oven. So, you know, why can't we torch these? We just have to be careful. Maybe torch from the outside in. But, you know, silicone generally is made to go in the oven, so just have to have not too much heat. I wouldn't use my big boy torch, you know, this huge one. Right, now the next thing I want to do is, oh, look at the reactions that are going on. Next thing I want to do is put some clear in the middle and push all that out to the edges. And I do need to fill up my mold, so push it out. And make sure they've all got equal amounts in there. I'll take it right up to the top. It's pretty full. And now, while I've still got a little bit of space, although it's closing in very quickly, I'm going to put some crushed glass in the middle. Look at that, it's closing in. Oh, that's all right. This is fun, you guys, and I'm actually getting some reactions happening. I'm so excited. I'm going to use all this up because I've got it. It was only a little teaspoon for each. Ugh, it's like, it's gritty. It's making a noise like nails on a chalkboard. Okay, so I just want it in the center. Look at all those bubbles that it came with. There we go, that'll do. Now I want to just poke them in. I think this is going to be the bottom of my coaster. I'll flip them upside down, so I just want to make sure that they're in. Now I'm just going to use the rest of my clear, pour it over the top, and just make sure that my, oh, look at that. It's all going to come back in anyways, and I'm just going to make sure that they're all filled. My coasters, oh look, I can see the glass. This is so much fun. And if you guys, those that have been following me for the last 2 years or so with my acrylic pouring, this is, yeah, it's different for me, but you know, I've been doing acrylic pouring for so long now, I just felt as if I needed to branch out, spread my wings. I don't think this is level. Either that or my mold's not level, one or the other. Because it's dripping this way. I'm going to put a stick under there. So I can see this is starting to dome over here. Let me get another stick. Think that this side's needs to be propped up a little bit there, because I don't want this overflowing. This is almost overflowing over here, so we'll prop this side up a little bit. How's the rest of it looking? I can actually see that it's doming. This one needs a little bit more. I don't want them to overflow, obviously, but I don't want that, you know, with that little lip when you haven't had enough resin in there and you get that little lip. I'd rather have it doming. Just put a little bit more in at a time until I can see that they're all about the same. Now those are all doming. They've all got that little rounded look on the edges, which is, I think, Perfect. All right, let me torch again. So I've got a little bit of resin left over. So yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of this one left over. I just have to throw that, I guess. I only needed enough to do one little puddle. So, but next time, look, I'll know better next time as to, you know, how much to use. Now the bubbles are all in the middle there, where I had that, where I put that glass in. So let's pop those. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. I'll go over the whole thing. Now I'm going to cover it. You can cover it with a box, a plastic container. Just make sure that whatever you're using is clean and it's not full of cobwebs and things on the inside if it's been sitting around. So what I think I'll do is I'll just cover this, and then in about maybe 10 minutes I'll come back and just check it and see if there's any more bubbles that have come up to the surface, and then I'll pop those. Is that what you're supposed to do? Not sure. Anyway, we'll do that. I can see something in there. Where did it go? I was looking at it on a different angle. Let's look at a little hair. Something in there. It's already given like a skin over the top. Maybe I torched too high. All right, that's enough. That is enough. So yeah, I'll get a plastic container and I'll cover it. I'll pop the bubbles in another 10 minutes, but I will see you guys tomorrow. But let's just go in for a bit of a close-up because it is reacting. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control. So the centers, oh God, that light. So frustrating when you're getting glares everywhere. So the centers are reacting really nicely. The edges haven't really bled in as much. Maybe they still will, I don't know. They kind of have there, but not so much there. So whether or not they will over time, I'm not sure. Don't drop your camera in. But it's not really an opaque color. You know, I only had that mica pigment in the blue. When I get my opaque colors, I'll do it around the outside and hopefully I'll get the reaction like the middle there with your transparents and your opaques together. But it's looking really pretty. Okay, I'm excited. All right, I'll see you in the morning. Hope it dries well. Hey guys, I'm back. Now it's not the next day, it's just later in the evening. I've come home from work. It's about 8:30 at night. So it's been about 12 hours, I guess. Now I've taken them off that Lazy Susan. This is what I covered them in all day, just this plastic container. So I'll take that off. And I've just put them on this nice little blue fluffy mat here just so that you can see what they look like rather than being on a dirty piddle pad. Okay, so da-da, let's do the unmolding. And they come out, oh, really, really easily. Very easily, much easier than that thin white one. There we go. Me looking over the top of this resin, I don't think it's as clear as the previous resin I was using, but oh, maybe it's just the way I poured it. Okay. Oh, look, we've got sparkles in the middle. So there's a little bit of a lip there. I actually, these molds, one of them was actually lower in the middle. I've spoken to the supplier. She's going to send me another one. It was actually lower and the the resin actually flowed over the top, which I was quite upset about. So that's number one. We've got beautiful effects happening. It has kind of moved a little bit. I think it's because the resin was kind of flowing. Yeah, it ran out over the edges. I don't know how close I can get in here. So this will be the top. We can have a look at the bottom, but I think this will be the top. You can see there it's transparent in the center. Oh, there's my finger on the outside. See, you can see through into the crystals. All right, let's have a look at the other side. Well, it's different. I don't know that that would be my side of choice. Come on, focus. You can see the opaque aqua there for sure. You can see the crystals more, that glass, but yeah, I really love the effects on this side. So this is the side that I would have as the top. Okay, let's do the other one. Here it is. Again, it's, I don't know, it's kind of got a little bit milky on the side there. I don't know if that's, I had a couple that were sort of flowing off and I kept on having to dab at them. So maybe that's why. Pop out really easily. Nice and clean in there. All right, let's have a look at the second one. And again, you can see through in the center there. You can see my finger on the other side. Don't know if this is the best light tonight, but hey, it is what it is. So I started with a very dark navy edge, which is kind of all blended in together. It's really pretty. Lovely effects, hey? Okay, let's do the next one. Sparkly. Just loosen it all the way around. Pop it out. Oh, look at that. Again, we've got that clear center. This one's got a little bit more. I'll move my hand out of the way. I'm in the shadow there. This one's got a little bit more of the turquoise showing, hasn't it? Really pretty. I don't know how close we can get without it going blurry. Lovely blending of the navy blue into that light blue. And I really love those little, that glass in the middle there. Let's have a look at the other side. Again, very similar to that first one. You can see where I did the puddles. That's that opaque aqua there. So yeah, I don't love that side. I do love this side though. Okay, last one. I think this again was the one that's kind of run. You can see where the colours have sort of run off the edge there. So I emailed the company this morning and I said, you sent me the moulds that didn't match up. I had two that were lower than the others and all my resins run off. And she said, oh, I'm very sorry. I've never had that happen before. I'll send a replacement tomorrow. So but apart from that, I'm really happy with them. Like it's a nice thick mould. It's got a good weight. So hopefully I'll get that new one tomorrow and have another go. You can see the sparkles in it. This one, I can still see through a little bit. Yeah, I kind of poked the glass down a little bit too much, I think. I haven't really used, well, I've never used the glass before. Didn't really know how much to sort of poke it down, and I probably shouldn't have. That's it there. I guess you could use that side if you wanted to, you know, you could use either side. And then if you have a raised edge, where can I find one that's got a little bit of a raised edge? Oh, here. You can see there where see the resin flowed over? And you could snap it off. Comes off pretty easily. But then you could use a nail file and just gently file that back like that. Doesn't take very much. Just file off your edges like so. This is an old nail file, so I probably need to use a stronger one. Be careful when you run your hand over it. If it's sharp like that, you know, you can cut yourself, so just be careful. Now, what I will do is, I'm just going to go and grab my silver pen. This is what I'm going to use. The Silver Leafing Pen by Krylon. And I'm going to do the edges. So when you get it, it's got a white tip, and you need to put the lid on and shake, 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 shake. Give it a really good shake. Get that paint all mixed up in there. And then I'm just going to bring you down here. I've just got a piece of paper down here. What you need to do is press down a few times until you can see the colour starting to come through or come down. It's starting to come down now. You can just see it. So just keep going gently. It's almost at the bottom now. Just keep going, and then you can do like a little practice like so. Okay, that's how you get that started. So, which one will I do? I'll just pick one. I won't do them all while you're waiting here, because I do need to probably file a couple of edges. So, basically, all you're doing is you just push down to get your colour started, and then just paint it on. It's pretty simple. And you get a really nice covering. If you have a lot of bubbles in it, see there's a few little bubbles there. I don't know if you can focus on that very well. There's 3 little bubbles there. If you are having lots of bubbles, you could fill those in with some clear nail polish, and that'll sort of fill the gaps. And then when it's dry, then you could go over with your silver pen. So that's the edge done. You get a really beautiful shine. And then what I do is I want to cover just half, because that's quite thick, that edge. I don't want to use it all, so I'm just going to sort of put maybe half of the pen on the coaster and the other half off the coaster, just to give a finish like that. And then when you do your little rippled edge here, it's a little bit more tricky. You just have to take your time. I tend to just take these and put a cushion on my lap and go and sit on the couch in front of the TV with the bright light on, and just carefully go over it. You got to push the colour into those little grooves. And every now and then when your little nib needs more paint, you just have to press down like that, and then that'll get the paint flowing again. So if it sort of starts to run out and you think, oh my gosh, what have I done? Just push down on it and it'll start to flow again. It's pretty easy, isn't it? It is. So that's all you have to do. I don't know if it's going to keep focusing or not. I'm a bit close. And then the same thing. Oops, I've put my fingers in it. I've smudged it. It's a problem with doing things when I'm watching the screen and not watching what I'm doing. So I've done that edge. So the same thing, put half of the nib on the coaster and the other half hanging over, and just gently follow that line. Oops. Trying to look at the screen and what I'm doing at the same time. It's a bit tricky. So that's basically how I do it. Now I'll just get a little alcohol wipe and I'll just clean that off. So there we go. I will go and sit down and do some filing and finish it off. But that's basically what it's going to look like. And then of course you need to do the other side as well. Well, I like to. But you don't have to, I guess. These are expensive pens. They're about $26 each. So I guess if you're not going to use the back, you may want to save your pen for the tops of your coasters. So it's up to you to decide if you want to do that, I guess, which way you want to go. And here they are, all finished. I've done the silver edging on each one. There's the top. That's what that one looks like. There's the other one. And yeah, I've got this sort of cloudy look here from where it ran out of the molds, which I'm not very happy about, but hopefully my next try with these molds will be better. Still pretty though, but yeah, they just kind of got ruined with the resin running out. It was supposed to have more of this sort of look here than that sort of a cloudy look. There's that one, and Lucky Last. This is my favorite. This is the one that didn't run, so that's what it's supposed to look like. It's got a bit of glitter, it's got some beautiful effects, it's got the clear center, the dark edges. So when my new mold arrives, I will have another go at these. And you know, you can put them like this as well. If you're displaying them on your table, you could do them like that. You don't necessarily have to keep them in a circle. They look really pretty, don't they? All right, that's me done. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. I hope you'll come along and try some resin with me. It's really not as hard as I thought it would be. Take some little tips here and there from others and we will get there. All right, thanks again. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Bye for now.